Hey everybody, back to my old tricks today. It's a beautiful day in New York City. I kind of wish I was outside right now. Not that I don't want to hang out for an hour with you guys. Wouldn't it be fun if we could do like a outdoor live stream, like riding I'm gonna do like a Electro on a bike. Like, you know that guy who does drum and bass on a bike? What's his name? Oh my god. Someone shout him out in the chat. It's fun. I'm a bicycle guy as much as I am a music guy. I own multiple bikes. It's like my hobby. Aside from gear and synths and electro and techno. I love working on the bikes and customizing them, building them up from parts, going on long distance rides, going camping, you know, going touring. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking about that, like going for a ride right now. Who's in the chat today? Who was first today? Martin Crockett, Word. Acid Bats. Yes, party people. We got Josh Holiday, Manuel Gloda, Live Society, Simple Sam, Reefer Bass, Sean Hodson. We got Mike Harding, Dave Robson. Mike Harding is asking if anybody's making kind of more chill stuff, like in the pre-intro music. That's an old track by Jason Shostak and myself, our Synapse project, Cosmic Connection. This one's another Synapse track right now. This one's called Bubble. Who else is in here? Right MZK? Tell us how to say that. Ordra Rear. F-Stop. Jan Kalinowski. David Bora. Thomas Dietz. Data Rebel. Hello in the UK. What's up today? Let's bring it in. Hi. My name is John Selway. I'm here in the studio, back here in the studio again. Not like in the classroom last week. That was fun doing that for the first time. We're going to do that again and like be even a little bit more fancy about it. More cameras, maybe like a camera person, more gear, more craziness. But yeah, back in the studio today. This is Selway's Techno and Electro Saturdays. Today's Electro. And brought to you by 343 Labs Music Production School here in New York City and in Berlin and online. We just did yesterday and the day before, we had an event with Hannes Bieger, well-known engineer and music producer. He did a feedback session on Thursday, and they did 8 hours, an 8-hour masterclass that was also streamed online yesterday. And I was here for that, doing the technical side. And man, what a marathon. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff we do. And, you know, we have our classes that you can sign up for. All the info is below. I'm about to start an online synthesis and sound design class tomorrow. Doing that every week for 12 weeks, approximately, give or take. You can see us in Berlin. There's 2 websites. Check out the links. I said that already. And we're starting a year program, right? So this is like, for us, it's a level up. Like we're getting more ambitious over here, running more classes, getting everything more synchronized, making a full-fledged year-long program where you just take everything and you get mentoring and like private instruction and an opportunity to go to, we have partnership with a recording studio in the area and all sorts of craziness is happening that we're building up to start in the fall. So if you want to know more about that, again, check the links below. We've got our Discord. You can always join there. I've got the Selway feedback channel there. I know some of you have posted some tracks recently. I'm going to go in and have a listen to them. I'm still planning some upcoming feedback sessions on the stream. It's always nailing down the good guests, right? That's the thing. So, but we're going to get some cool people in here to hang out with me and listen to your music. And, you know, we'll do an electro one and a techno one as we do. And I don't know. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Who else has joined in today? We've got Mundolator. Hello. Audio 8. Electro forever. I agree. Simple Sam's got 3 bikes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you need, your bikes need fixing. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a mechanic for hire. You know, if you want to bring your bikes over to the city here in New York, you can stop by. I got my toolbox. I'll help you out. but that would be expensive. You probably, where you are in the world, there's got to be plenty of good bike mechanics, right? Hey, Cosmic J, nice to have you back. And oh, sorry, yeah. I realize I say bikes, and some people may not. Bicycles. I'm not a motorcycle person. I mean, I've tried it. I got friends that do it. I am a bicycle person. I'm not even into e-bikes, really. I mean, I guess they have their uses. I'm into it for certain specific uses and for other people to get into. But I like fully mechanical, like, that perfect machine, right? Not into the bicycle road riding racing kind of thing. I don't wear Lycra. There's this term I heard called, it's mammal middle-aged men in Lycra. I am a middle-aged man, and I don't want to be identified as that. I like cycling in normal clothes and not having to worry about how fast I'm going and sweating and the pain of like the training and the riding up the hills. And I just like taking it easy. There's a YouTube channel here called Path Less Pedaled, and they're into this whole thing called party pace. Which I'm definitely about, like hanging out with your friends, going on a long ride, pack some food and some beers and like a tent and like go find a nice spot out in the woods and hang out and then ride home the next day. I love that kind of stuff. Nice. Okay, we're getting sidetracked, but I feel like, electro and bicycles is not completely like separated. I mean, remember Kraftwerk, Tour de France? I know one of the guys in Kraftwerk, whichever one it was like super into cycling. So there is that connection. But anyway, enough about bicycles today. Anyway, it's electro, and I don't have a specific lesson for you guys today. It's really just me working on a track, and it's like a sketch that I have here. I don't recall. This isn't one that I started on the stream, and I promise to continue. We got to do that too. I know I have a little backup of projects to work on with you guys. So, but anyway, it's a sketch. There's some ideas here. And let's just see what happens. Let's just go along for the ride. What does it sound like right now? Okay. Some very electronic sounding stuff going on in here. I think where I got started with this was just making a beat and putting crazy effects on it just to play around with it using live devices here. I've got this spectral resonator. There's a group of drums, and actually, I don't even know. Whoa. Okay, it's not just drums. I pulled this one out because I was like, what does this one sound like? I have no idea. So let's investigate together what is happening in this particular groove I've got going on. What are these sounds? I know there's some... I recall that a bunch of these things were sounds that I made like in class, in the synth class. Just doing, there's some like basic subtractive synthesis, and then I don't know where this came from. All right, that sounds ridiculous. And that's all like spectral resonator. Woo! Let's turn that off and see what happens. All right, so that's where it came from. So we've got... a kick drum that I synthesized in Pigments. Using that multi-band kind of OTT style compressor to pop it up, punch it up a little bit. There's a delay on here somewhere, but oh yeah, that's just going to the delay in Live's return. And I've got this heavy, noisy snare going on with some modulation happening, right? We've got some distortion. Oh, I see. And I'm using an LFO to modulate the time of the delay. I mean, this is an old electro, and techno trick, but just modulating delays is always fun. Doing some kind of crazy modulation, resonator type effects or whatever. This is just doing some pitch up and down. That could be fun to play with. All right, but let's not get too distracted. All right, so we've got this crazy snare thing. And then For whatever reason, I'm not sure why, because I don't remember. All right, so, you can see I'm using a saturator to just totally destroy those sounds. Just punch it up into something else. But then, I took that basic kind of busy, distorted, electro, breaky groove and then transformed it into something else with the resonator. Right, so, it's resonating on a note. And then, if I recall correctly, I had this being played. I had the pitch of the resonator being played by there's a bass, all right? I don't know. I think we heard that a little bit before, but I got this simple, very simple bass line, just 3 notes. All right, so that's track 9. And I have that routed into the resonator. So I was just trying to make that, the frequency of the resonator follow the bass notes. It's okay. It also could work like this. Not terrible. And then you got that whippy up and down kind of weirdness, which we've got some envelope followers happening here. I'm having to look at it like, what exactly is going on here? So yeah, it looks like I've got an envelope follower controlling the gain of an envelope follower. What is that about? I guess, right. I was trying to control the range of this modulation in a certain way. All right, so anyway, the second envelope follower is controlling the stretch and the shift. You can map multiple destinations here from this guy. And that's what's making all that whippy stuff. I think it sounds pretty cool. I wish it was a little tighter, but it's got a very modern sound. I always associate these kind of resonator, kind of additive synthesis tones with like modern synthesizers somehow. It just has that. It's got that metallic, shiny kind of sharpness around the edges. I like it. Luminous Cloud says it sounds like a squishy percolator sound. Yeah, a little bit. All right, and so, without all that, it's just a drum beat. And I turned that beat into this, and then I was like, all right, I need more drums. So then we've got, where is, that's soloed. Okay. This is like a too many kick drums track. I had a conversation with Christian Smith. We've made some electro together, and he likes the beats more simple, right? Like not too busy. Kick drum, snare drum, some hi-hats, and not too many syncopated 16th notes on the kick drums. This is exactly what he would think is like too many kick drums. But sometimes I like it. It's got this kind of bouncy, breaky feel when you do that. Actually, I'm going to turn off the resonator for a second. Even let's get rid of the bass for a second. It's like layers of rolling little kick drum hits. And it's got to be a strong one. And then, I feel like it's just the simple 2 and 4 snare that holds it together. Where's that hi-hat? 909 hi-hat. I wanted something a little bit chunkier than like a thin, more 808 style hi-hat. And just that classic Kraftwerk numbers rolling hi-hat. Could probably use some variation with that. Just adding in a couple extra notes every now and then. See how that works. Sure. I want something even more syncopated though. Like this is still rolling. Let's interrupt the groove a little bit. But which bar to do it in? Maybe 2 and 6. All right, experiment. Poking a hole in the groove in that bar. You hear it? Let's try that again. I mean, bringing up the velocity on some of those. It's almost, it needs to be even louder. I'm trying to get it like, let's check it out. Yeah, it's covered up by the snare, I think. It's a loud snare. Oh, I like it without the snare. Maybe that snare is too big. But I love the syncopated roll of this right now. Let's put the bass line back in. But this sounds too empty without the snare somehow. Or maybe we bring in, I have this chord stab that I'm going to work on too. It's kind of doing call and response with the bass. Hey, Max Wild. Max Wild says it's a techno party. No, Max, it's an electro party. Yeah. Get your genres straight, saxophone player. Just kidding. Max Wild is our fearless leader here at 343 Labs. No disrespecting the boss. Not live. Josh Holiday suggests add the snare once in a while. Well, what I'm going to do, I think, is I'll have like a tighter snare and a bigger, fatter snare and alternate them. So, I mean, this is another snare that I made. Maybe I just want to get rid of because I've got 2 big fat snares with the wobbly pitch modulation delay thing. Maybe I should just take this one and let's make this tighter and snappier. That's gonna, yeah, all right. Yeah. It's a little bit too much pitch modulation on this guy somehow. Dude, it's like zappy. Which envelope's doing the pitch? That one. All right. It's still a little, I mean, that's better. I'm going to play around. I've got a notch filter. I use this on snare drums a lot. If I want to kind of bring down some of the harmonics. Like that's reducing the ringiness of the fundamental. And it's making it a little bit phasier, thinner, which I kind of like. What about the noise? There's a bunch of noise in there, right? Where's the noise coming from? Utility. There it is. Maybe it needs to be thinner. Yeah, and then maybe a little quieter. All right, it's still a little too pitch zappy, but I'm going to leave it for now because it's close. It could be even shorter, actually. When it's shorter, I don't mind the pitch as much because it's in key with the music, and that's kind of cool. All right, and then we have this guy. Whoa. Sometimes it really jumps out with the delay. I wonder if I'm even going to keep this. Maybe that should be a separate layer entirely. I like the drums dry, actually. How do we do that? Oh, right. So, I don't want to... If I want to use this as entirely... All right, I'm going to duplicate this group. I mean, this is crazy. I'm using 4 pigments. I should resample this, actually. I'm going to just kill my CPU at some point. I've got so many pigments and other plugins open right now. But this is this is the simple answer at the moment. So we're going to have one with and one without. Uh-oh. We got a bot on the Twitch. Just ignore that, everybody. Anyway, I like this. Like layer of resonator with the other drums. Probably need to work on the mix of that. Ooh. And now I'm hitting the compressor really hard. Volume's okay, right? You can hear me, you can hear the music, not too loud, not too quiet. I've got to kind of blast it in here. Let me know if it sounds all right. What's up, Jean-Paul Bondy? He's like, hey, nerds. You know, we own that here. We own that term. We are not ashamed to be nerds. I want to spice up this chord stab a little bit. It's kind of vanilla. It's fine, and I could throw effects on it, but let's synthesize. Let's sound design. Let's give this a little bit more life. It's got, there's a delay on it already, which is just, dotted eighths, nothing special. What if we unison? Okay, already that's good. I like it wide and detuned. There's like a real classic trick that you hear in a lot of classic Detroit electro, like, Doppler effect and etc., where there's a square wave modulating the pitch to create a harmony. And I love doing this. It's one of my favorite simple subtractive synthesis things to do for these types of sounds. That and like sample and hold on pulse width mod and filters. That's also good. Tried and true. And it's actually, I've had a couple of private lessons for people making electro, and they're like, how do you make this sound? And they've played like a bunch of electro tracks that all had the same like sample and hold random modulation or like velocity controlling, it's funny. It's like there's certain sounds that are just so electro. This is one of them, at least in my mind. So let's take an LFO and a square wave and modulate the coarse tuning. Why isn't that? Is it off? It's off. I forget that about these guys. You've got to like, all right. Unmute. We're just going to fix this now. There we go. There, okay. All right, so you can hear it's jumping up and down way, way, way too much. Let's bring that back. So sensitive. There it is. Right, I mean, that's about an octave. I'm trying to get it to go up and down like a fifth or a fourth. All right, let's make this easier on ourselves. It's real short and plucky. Let's make it longer. And make it a little brighter. I mean, that's okay, just doing the octaves like that. There we go. It's like a not quite perfect, slightly detuned fifth going up and down. Da, na, na, na. I love that so much. All right. But now I've taken it totally out of key. So what does it sound like again in its original? All right, you go away. All right, so that's the note that I want. I'm singing it to myself. But now when now it's playing a lower note, so I need to coarse tune it up. Approximately 3 semitones. Maybe a little bit more. Let's see if I got it right. Yep. I love that. Hey. Thanks, Luminous Cloud. I'm glad you like these beautiful modulated chords. Speaking of beautiful, it's really hard to play nice sustained pads over a progression that's going up and down chromatically, because you'll play a nice note and then the next bar it doesn't sound right because the whole thing just shifted up half. It shifted up a semitone. So like, what's up with that? How do you rectify that? I guess you kind of just have to live with it and live with the dissonance and find the right note. Or find a note that sounds good on both. Move down octaves. That doesn't work, right? That works. But it's not, yeah, that one kind of works. And it's another thing that comes up in producing electro, like in terms of melody and music theory, is like what scales work, what chords work. And there's so many electro tracks that have like pentatonic, like minor pentatonic, bluesy, or chromatic, kind of melodic minor, harmonic minor. I don't know, that's usually where you are. And there's a lot of just going up and down in semitones for that mysterious, spacey vibe. I'm okay with this. Wrong note. Or is it the right note? All right, I got some ideas in there. And I think that's all captured. Oh, is that the one? That's the one where I was like, the wrong note. All right. Got some good stuff going on here, right? We got those expansive cinematic pads, which I really like. We got the modulating chord stab. We got this simple bass line, which I feel like I might want to play around with a little bit, but I want to wait for the arrangement before, I think. And then we got this craziness. And I forgot about that one. How did I make this sound? Okay. Actually, before we dive into this, let's take a breath. It's a little past the halfway point here on It's Always Electro / Techno Saturdays on 343 TV, brought to you by 343 Labs Music Production School. I'm here in the content studio in New York City. We also have our location in Berlin. Max, are you still watching? I really want to go back to Berlin. Send me out there. Let's do something there. It's been years. I mean, it was like years, even a couple years before COVID lockdown happened. I had a DJ gig at a club in Berlin, which was probably like my last actual like legit official gig in ages, honestly. So wouldn't mind doing that again. But yeah, for 343 Labs, it'd be fun to do some stuff. So Max, I'm calling you out. I'm really giving Max a hard time this week. I'm like, it's not a techno party, Max, and bring me to Berlin, Max, and gimme, Max. Actually, I got to say, Max has been so supportive in terms of like what we need to like do our events here, and like cool lights and cameras and everything. So yeah, thumbs up. So what are y'all talking about? I like this. Jean-Paul Bondi says, Electro meetup in Berlin. I have to go out there for work this summer. Yeah, I mean, this summer for me is probably out. I'm actually going on a family trip. I'm going to Taiwan in July, so almost the whole month of July. Sorry, I will not be streaming unless by some miracle I can set that up out there. But I really don't think so because it's sort of a holiday with family and everything. So yeah, that'll be my summer break. So we'll do some streams through June, and then we'll take a break in July, and then we'll see what happens for August. But for sure, whatever happens for summer break, we're going to start up again, later after July at some point. Cool. Reefer Bass is asking, how about that bass stab? Maybe something more aggressive sounding. I was thinking about that, like the energy level of it. It's a bit low key. And in a way, like, not every bass has to be like upfront. It can be just playing its supporting role, like your typical kind of bass rhythm section, just hanging out in the background and letting other stuff be the main thing. But yeah, we could look at that. We got time to do that. I'm open to that idea. And Luminous Cloud is saying, I feel the chord and the pad clash. Yeah, and sometimes, don't be afraid of dissonance. Don't be afraid of wrong notes. I mean, there really aren't, no wrong notes. There's, like, think of jazz. Like, it's not about, it's like any note can become the right note depending on what happens next. Like, you could totally play something that's completely out of everything else and then save it by moving in the right direction. So there really are no wrong notes. It happens all the time like that. Eulimer. Hey, what's up, Eulimer? Eulimer. I'm leaning towards that. I could totally hear a high-pitched orbital style lead melody line bass on a 303 sitting on top of the beat. Yeah, something. I have a couple of synths loaded up that could go that direction, so that's another good idea. Jean-Paul Bondi would love a single clap with a giant reverb happening once in a while. I definitely do that every now and then. So yeah, that's in the realm of possibility for sure. And okay. Oh, wait. Okay, so Luminous Cloud is now, I think I got it wrong. I said it wrong. I read it wrong in the heat of the moment. Let's go back to that. I feel the pads sound too serious for those chords. Wow, how did I completely miss those words the first time I looked at that? You're right, it does change the vibe. And I don't know, it's up to whether you like the vibe. We'll see. A lot of times I'll come up with these musical ideas and I'll like them in the moment. And then when I go to do the arrangement, I'll realize at that moment that it is taking the track in the wrong direction. And then I won't use it or I'll change it so it works. So you might be right there. And I'm not adding any donks. No donks here. I know. Sorry. Let's see. Let's get back and focus again on what's happening here. I left it with which is really on its own really nice. What is happening? Again, I have to remind myself, since it's been quite a long time since I have opened this project, I have to see, what did I do with these sounds? What's happening? I mean, if we just start by turning the effects off. What? And remember, some of these sounds are coming out of like synth lessons. So like I was making sounds to show off a technique or like a concept. And in this case, what do we got going on? We've got The wavetable is jumping around randomly, so that must be the sample and hold, right? Yeah, the sample and hold is just going all over the place on this wavetable. All right, this might get bright when I turn the filter off. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, there it is. All right, so I've got filters in series. But I'm like, what's doing the crazy... There's something else going on as well. Like, it's not just the choppiness. All right, this function... All right, yeah, I remember we were learning about functions and pigments, and I'm just using this as a fast 16th note LFO, basically. What's doing the weird talky thing, right? We have to, like, go in and... It must be the crazy... All right, let's turn the random modulation of the wavetable off. No, that's not it either. Is there an effect I'm missing? The mysteries of pigments. There's like some crazy stuff happening. I have no FM modulation. Actually, no, I don't. Let's get rid of the function. Let's mute that. Oh, right. Duh. There's two engines. Okay, so there's this one, which is now doing nothing. So we have to turn that back on. All right, so the pitch is just an envelope going up slowly, right? And then the sample and hold. Is doing that. So it's getting brighter and darker. Let's turn down that a little bit. That's just ridiculous. And we also have the sample head hold doing the high pass filter. So it's going wacko 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 wacko. And then we've got a bandpass filter rising up slowly. So it's just creating this kind of weird rhythmic pitch rise thing. And then I've got the really weird stuff, which is, okay, granular, basically. Ah, I remember now. This is pretty advanced. Not really, but it's like, there's some, I think maybe I'm using the granular synthesis as a modulator. Anyway, we don't need to go too deep into this. This will take up the rest of our time. Just understand that there's some crazy stuff going on in the granular engine, in the modulation. And then all of that is running through this, which is where the pretty stuff is. So I'm using the delay as like a resonator. It's really nice. But, okay, now that I've gone through and reminded myself of what the heck did I just do with that sound, does it even fit with the track? And I don't think so, because I think it's in the wrong key. If I get rid of the chords, right, and I missed the choppiness of it without the delay. And I could fix that. I don't think I can modulate that. Let's see what we can modulate. It's the function that's doing the choppy. Amounts, dry wet, output. Can't do the output. I need some amplitude modulation that comes after the effects. So that's the trick. Can't do the main out. Yeah, I got myself into a real pickle here. You know, I guess what I'm going to have to do, I'm pretty sure, yeah, A goes into B. So if I can find an effect on here that I can modulate amplitude, or maybe like a filter would be easiest, right? Let's try to filter. Because I want to I like this effect, but I want to make it less dreamy. I want to reduce the dreaminess, but without changing the fundamental tone of it. How did we get into this deep sound design? I don't know. I told you, this is going along for the ride today. This is just in the moment, spontaneous, what's going to happen. This is where we're at. So let's try the multi-filter and let's modulate the cutoff. There we go. That's more like what I was thinking of. Whoa. Why does it sound like it's late when I use the bandpass filter? Anyway, that's interesting. Could automate that so it's more or less choppy. Now the next problem is, and I still am not 100% sold on this, I like the sound and somehow I want to make it work if I can. It's in the wrong key. It's playing a note that's droning and it doesn't fit, and it probably, if it's going to drone, it needs to match that. And if it's following the bass, where'd the bass go? Nah, I think we'll just keep it internal. And this is one of those situations where you just got to trust your ear. Now I'm going to go back to FXA, and then the tuning is going to be determined by the time of the delay. I don't know. I just ended up getting it back to where it started. Somehow my ear is leaning towards that. All right. Yeah, let's hear it with this and the chords, and then we'll decide. If I can't make it work with the bass and the chords, then better. Go back over to the filter. And it's also like not something I'm going to loop for the whole track. I'm thinking if I use it at all, it'll just come in occasionally. So let's hold back and listen to the musical elements again. What did we say? Were we going to look at the bass a little bit? Like, what could we do to this bass? You know, I kind of wanted it to, my initial idea for the sketches, I wanted the bass to be kind of in the, just a little bit dark and a little bit sinister, but not too like crazy. But let's look at how we can make it maybe a bit more expressive. I mean, it's really just plucky, right? It's a simple sound. I think I'm using wavetable a little bit. You can see. Actually, no, I'm modulating a little bit of FM, a little bit of FM to add some brightness to this otherwise analog sounding bass. And it's filtered a lot. You can hear when I bring the filter open, that's where the metallic kind of thing is happening. And that's definitely more aggressive. Is it what we want? I don't know. I don't know. Wow, it's just one. We're only hearing one oscillator right now. I'm not getting any ideas. Let's listen to it with the beat. I'm going to try to imagine, like, what could I do to this bass? I mean, it's already brighter now because I brought the filter up. I could see maybe making it sustained and like doing kind of a swell. So it was like percussive and then bow, wow, something like that as an alternative to just the pluck. How would we do that? I mean, I'm already playing lower notes on, you can see it's sustained notes on these. So let's, Right, so that's a really long note. We don't want to do that. No. Right, so I'm kind of trying to. I'm going to use an envelope to do a swell after it does that pluck, and I'm kind of timing the length of the note, thinking ahead of how much time I want for that envelope to play. Now, I don't know if this is making it more energetic as requested, but it is doing something different, adding some variation and movement. All right, and this is probably, going by the time, might end up being the last thing we do today. I think I need a function to do this, right? I'm using a 4-stage envelope over here. I can't really get this one to go back up. Am I using envelope 3 for something? What's envelope 3 assigned to? The filter cutoff. Okay, that's doing the pluck. Is envelope 2 doing anything? Also doing the filter cutoff? Why am I doing both? Interesting. Actually, I just realized, because now this is good. I've got 2 envelopes. I can do one doing the pluck and the other one doing the swell. Maybe. Which means envelope 3 needs to be higher. Oh, all right. And then envelope 2 is also doing, see, I'm like deconstructing my sound. This is also doing the mod amount. So I need this envelope 3 to also do the mod amount. So I'm breaking my sound, guys. It's starting to do the other stuff I was thinking would be cool, though. Right, that's kind of cool. Not quite right in terms of timing yet. Let's go. I mentioned maybe we're going to use a function. We're going to use the function as an additional envelope. And all right, so this wants to be an envelope mode. And, we just want to that's a plucked shape now. Let's change this to hertz instead. And then, we don't want, that's sustained now. If you're using this as an envelope, I'm going to add another breakpoint. And, the faster rate, you're speeding up the time of the envelope. Let's assign this now to the same stuff. Let's do, or at least the filter. You also want to do, I believe we also want to do the function. I mean, the modulation. Whoa. So that's kind of the idea. All right. Let's see it. Let's hear it with the beat. Not quite the right swell. right? And so here now it's all about if this is going to work, it's all about the timing. Yeah, so it's either too fast or too slow, right? Getting it just right is a little tricky. I feel like playing with, the curves a little bit to make it kind of whip more. Wow. Yeah, closer. All right. It's getting there. What time is it? Where are we at? Luminous Cloud says maybe lower the release on that swell. I think that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get that timing just right. And it may still take some tweaking. And then actually, when I arrange this, I might make it change over and evolve over time and have it be faster or slower or less intense or more intense. Like actually, if we're just breaking it down, let's get rid of the extra craziness. And the hi-hat. Okay. Can't go wrong with a little dotted eighth note delay. Well, you can, but here's that sad pad. Maybe just one note is all I need. At a time, anyway. I'm dancing like a robot. It must be good. What else have I got in here? Another spacey pad. How about a low evil drone? Oh, listen to that. That's like intro or break potential. Look how long those envelopes are. It takes forever for that sound to do anything. Anyway, I'm good with that. And then this thing. I feel like just sneaking that in sometimes. Making it brighter. Boy, that hi-hat's loud. I feel like I need a variation on the hi-hats. Maybe just like it's going to take forever to do this, but get rid of... And why am I doing it this way and not just making a new pattern? I don't know. It's like more work one way or the other. Because I want the velocities to match when I like I could do I don't know. I'm overcomplicating things. You're right. Voice in my head. You're right. I'm overcomplicating. But I'm being persnickety and OCD, and I want this variation on the hi-hats. I want the hi-hat velocities to match. And this is the longest way I could think of doing it. Okay. There you go. What else we got in here? All right. This is, I think, supposed to be a different track entirely, but... All right, so I'm taking an existing pattern and transposing it to be sort of more in the harmonic space. Maybe this will be, like someone mentioned earlier about doing like a high acidy melodic line on top. Let's see if this works. All right, it's not necessarily working with the chords, but let's hear it by itself. Yeah, I have to fix the melody to work with the chromatic thing going up and down. Or I could actually, what if we just duplicate that and then have it also do the same up and down in chromatic thing. And then I have to adjust the chord. I don't hate it. It's a beginning of something. That's better. Maybe some of the notes can stay and the other ones can change. Or go in a different direction, a little more sophisticated that way. Okay, I'm into that. So anyway, I feel like if you read the title of this, we're in that zone. All right, I'm feeling it now. I like this. Let's wrap it up for today. Thanks everybody for going along with the ride, going along for the ride, with the ride, something like that. Glad to have you here. Nice hanging out as always. Thinking about what to do next week already. And, maybe we'll switch back to techno. Maybe we'll continue with the electro. But actually, before I go, I'm going to mention here in New York City, there is a party tonight. And on that lineup, we have none other than Anthony Rother. Yes, Anthony Rother is in New York City finally. I'm going to go meet him later today. I'll say hi to him from everybody if you want me to. But yeah, there's a party going on here in Brooklyn tonight. We've also got Detroit in Effect and Bergsonist. That's 2/3 of that lineup has been on my show. I've had Bergsonist as a guest, who's here in New York City doing really cool music and art and kind of high concept stuff, which is great. And then Detroit in Effect are like legendary Detroit electro artists, and then obviously Anthony Rother is a big one. Now I'm going to have to get Detroit in Effect on my show, right? And I'm going to have to complete that trifecta of having that whole lineup on my show. So anyway, guys, that's it for this week. Thanks for the last time. And check out the info about what we got going on down our links below, of course. There's that year program. If you like, come to New York, hang out with us and take all our classes and get to know us and be part of the crew here. Maybe that's something you want to do. Or in Berlin, or both, right? You could sign up for this year program and travel from New York to Berlin and then do online classes in between and all be part of the same program. We're going to work it out so all the classes, all the schedules kind of line up. How that's going to happen, I don't know. That's some crazy logistics, but we're doing it. Thanks again, everybody. For the last time, I swear. We'll see you next week. Adios.